kind of an exciting week for us at Plum Tree because we've had a few big turning points as a company where we've either invested in something big or expanded in a certain way. This is one of those because we are definitely expanding, improving our CRM that we have offered. Now, the current CRM that we have is conversion. And when we first invested in conversion, it was like the cutting edge, top of the line. We were is like the best in the industry, and that was kind of exciting. And we felt like it was important to invest in a good CRM for our brokerage. At that time, we had 30 agents, and so what? And conversion at that time was meant for teams. And so I said, well, our brokerage, we have 30 agents. Can that uh, qualify as a team? And they said, yep, absolutely. So we signed up basically as the Plum Tree Realty team and didn't realize that we would grow quite the way that we have. We've exploded in growth. And the conversion is best for a group of 30 or less agents in a single MLS. Well, we kept duct taping it together and expanding it. And we were doing more with conversion than any other brokerage or team in the country. So, we were in over 20 different markets, 20 different MLSs, and it was definitely torquing it out majorly. So along the way, Inside Real Estate bought Conversion, and then they developed KV Core. So Conversion was kind of you had KV Core and Conversion. It was a version of KV Core, but it was kind of like the forgotten stepsister. And they kept developing other software, so the support for Conversion started to wane. And so what we have came to realize over time is we really have to upgrade. Now, this is an expensive upgrade for us as a brokerage. In the six figures cost annually, it's going to cost us to be able more than what we've been spending before. So it's going to be very expensive for our brokerage and and we thought about it like they recommended that we start charging extra fees to our agents for that, and that's an easy way to pay for it. And because we're trying to be the most ridiculously generous brokerage in America, we decided let's continue to be generous. We'll provide the very best software for our agents, even though they're only paying 275 a month or, the $3,900 cap. Let's do that. And so that's our plan. So we will not be increasing fees or anything for the software. You'll get this massive software platform, and it won't cost you any extra. So why would you want to be involved with Bold Trail? What's the big deal about this? Well, we have a team, Chris Shepard and Mark Shepard, and the Sold by Shep team is they've been growing a massive team over the last year or two. And Angela Shepard, who was doing great things in the mortgage world, shaking up the mortgage world, recently joined their team full time, and which is great because I think Chris needs someone to crack the whip and keep him in line. So it's good to have his wife in there helping with that. So, but one of
This
the
is
things
true.
before the Chris and Mark and their team ever came to Plum Tree, one of the big considerations was the CRM, and conversion was almost a deal breaker for them because they Chris is he has one of those complicated brains that few people understand, and researchers have wanted to study it for a while. But basically, he is so into tech that he was doing a lot of research and looking into platforms, and so they ended up with the KV Core, which is now Bold Trail, quite some time ago. And so they've been paying for their own platform, even though we've offered conversion. They've said thank you, no thanks, and they've gone on and they've invested in their own software platform, which is Bold Trail. And they really use it. And so they're power users. And so I thought, man, this would be great if we can get Chris and their whole team on here to kind of explain how they've used it and why it's important and what kind of difference it can make. So without any further ado, let's have a fine round of applause. You do applause on a Zoom call, I don't know. But Chris and Mark, Angela, I don't know who wants to start out, but I'd love to hear, maybe tell us your story a little bit of your
Yeah.
journey with this CRM.
So thanks for having us on this morning. We run our whole business from it. It was important. Sometimes I'll take lucky over good any day of the week. And when we were exploring this, we were really honed in on KV Core. And then when we had determined that that was the best CRM, and we both came from sales backgrounds where we ran our business from a CRM system. So we were familiar with that way of operating. And then fortunately, when we came into KV Core, that's when they were making the transition to Bold Trail. So we kind of dumb lucked as far as timing coming in, and they said, "Hey, would you guys be open to being a guinea pig using the new system?" And we didn't know any better, and we said, "Sure, let's do that." So we were kind of dumb lucky to get Bold Trail right when they were rolling it out in its beta testing.
That was also the exact same time that we were making our transition over to Plum Tree. And the reason that we had made our transition over to Plum Tree and to KV Core specifically, um, I was at a previous brokerage prior to Mark moving back to Ohio and us becoming a team. And when I was at that brokerage and I left the brokerage, I had one of my clients that said, "Hey, I got a call from one of the agents at your former brokerage that said, 'Hey, this is so and so with XYZ brokerage. I'm now going to take over your account. I just wanted to let you know I'm your new account rep.'" And this was one of my good friends. And I was like, "Yeah, they pretty much sold my info as a brokerage. They sold it and kept my data." And so when Mark and I became a team, we decided we would own our own CRM. And we had discussed that with Chris ad nauseum before we came on board. We wanted to own our data. It was important to us. Coming to find out, that's not really important to Plumtree. Like, you don't care about our data. So
Yeah.
we've been needlessly paying for our own CRM for the past 2 years, but it was a very valuable investment in our business because the tech in Bold Trail is so next level that it has definitely helped us build our business and scale quickly to allow us to continue to put down the bedrock of the team that we're now building.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's cool. And just a footnote here, that when you have leads, when you import leads into this system, other brokerages, if you import your leads into another brokerage's system, typically they own your leads. And that's their whole
Yep.
strategy. That it's not by accident, like they want your leads. So they'll take your leads and then you'll be with them for a year or two and then you leave and then they have your database. So that's not our strategy. And as a matter of fact, we've been able to set it up so that your leads will actually be private. We won't even be able to see your leads. The stuff you do with your leads, that stays in your CRM. Sounds like a Las Vegas commercial or something, but that's your CRM. That's your data. That's your communications, and that will be private. That won't be something that's accessible by our brokerage. So that's a selling point. That's important for you to
The,
be aware of.
to piggyback on that, Chris, that's exactly the same way we've set up our own team as well.
Yeah.
We've now got a team. There's 8 of us, and the other agents, whenever they brought in their CSV files from their previous CRMs or whatnot, if they upload those into Bold Trail or whatnot, those leads will be private, so our team doesn't own their data as well. That's a promise that we've made to our team, in addition to you making that to our entire brokerage. So, because we've been burnt by that same ideal, we wanted to make sure that we put that out there into the ethos with the people that we're building a team with.
That's awesome. Now, tell me, what are some of the features? You know, everyone talks about tech. Yeah, it's tech. It's got AI. It's technology. It's techie. But what does that
Yeah.
mean? What are some of the features that you found to be helpful?
So we run our entire operation as Bold Trail as the central hub. So it will let every other program or software system that you use feed into that. So most of the time when you say add in leads, in reality, it's coming into the system automatically. And once you get it set up, then you can set it up to where it will start nurturing and farming those leads for you while you're sleeping. So we use Bold Trail as our central business operational hub, and there are adjunct pieces that we've added on to it to allow us to do that, even from accounting all the way down to lead nurturing. So it is a central hub, and in my opinion, probably the best advice that we could give as far as people who are not accustomed to running their business out of a CRM is you really have to discipline yourself and say, hey, I'm going to stop writing in notebook pages, Kim David, and then go ahead and put it into CRM, and just put the data in there so that you can, when you're considering goals and things, and I like to use a SMART acronym, make it specific and measurable. And if you're putting the data into the CRM, you can go back and measure your success later and what's working and what doesn't. You can see it. So we've been very fortunate and disciplined ourselves to use the CRM as the central hub of our business. It allows those things to happen.
Okay, and that's great. And so you guys are techie, and you talk about lead nurture. What is lead nurture? What does that look like from the software standpoint? How does it nurture a lead?
Yeah, great one. From an AI standpoint, once you get a lead in there, there are default marketing and nurturing systems that Bold Trail has already sorted out for you. You can always adjust those, but generally they're all there. So you go to it, you simply just turn it on, and any new lead that comes in, it will have canned responses for periodic timetables reaching out to those people and keeping you top of mind with them through emails, texts, that sort of thing, calls on occasion. It has a whole algorithm of systems that you can nurture those leads with simply by toggling the on switch onto that lead, and Bold Trail will take care of it for you.
Yeah, Bold Trail and KV Core, and to a greater extent, Inside Real Estate, they use the jargon Smart Campaign. Depending on what background you come from, some will call it an action plan, some will call it a smart campaign, some will call it a drip campaign. It's the same dang thing. It's a campaign that's designed to continue to engage and get you touches while you're sleeping with your clients. So a lot of millionaire business plans and stuff talk about the number of touches you get to convert those leads to real deals and eventually to money in your pocket. And those touches can come in various ways. They can come by meeting people face to face at the county fair. They can come bumping into people at the high school football game. They can come by you emailing them and they open up your emails. They can see your social media. They can get text messages from you. All of those are touches. And there's a certain number of touches you have to get to be able to convert a lead. Whether you know that person or whether you don't know that person, there's a definitive formula that it's going to take to maximize your dollar spent and the amount of times you interact with somebody to put dollars in your pocket. And KV Core and Bold Trail allows you to maximize that on a larger scale than the 100 people that you are talking to on a daily basis. Our system, we've got 3,100 people in our system that it's constantly communicating with in ways. And there's times where we can see people sniffing around in our system looking at listings that we've sent them, and then spontaneously we get a phone call from Jim Davis or whoever, and I'm like, oh yeah, I've seen him looking at listings that we've been sending him. So we know exactly where that lead came from. It came from Bold Trail.
So one of the things I've been preaching for the many years with our brokerage is the importance of getting a list, a database of everyone that you know. So you start out, and I've said many times, if you don't currently have a list of everyone that you know that could either do business with you or would potentially refer business to you, then start today. And by the end of the week, you need to have 100 people on that list. And then as soon as you have
Mhm.
100, you need to make a beeline to get 300. As soon as you have
Yep.
300, you need to get 500. And then keep going until you get 1,000 in your list, your database, your spreadsheet. You have 1,000 people. And once you hit 1,000, for the most part, you can start to make, more money than you'll be able to spend.
Yep.
And so how many did you say you have in your list?
So right now, I'm looking at it. We have 3,133, and 2 years ago we started from zero.
Yeah.
Um, and those are people that um, have come in through various lead sources. Some of them were people that we manually entered. Some of them may have came in from our website, and they
Smart
clicked,
number.
yeah, or they called the smart number, which is the phone number that's on all of our signs. It alternates between. It was originally just Mark and I, but now it's if somebody calls on one of our listings and they call that smart number, that data is automatically captured and put into our system. That phone call is automatically recorded. So if you're on the road, you can go back and listen to that call and get that person's name and email address or whatever it is. So you can set them up with a search or whatnot. So smart numbers, another way that it comes in. We've also got ours synced with Zillow. So if you pay for leads through Zillow and it comes in, it automatically assigns those leads to whomever got that Zillow lead on our team, and it records that phone call, and you can then go back and set them up with a smart campaign so you continue to get touches with them.
That's amazing. So you guys have multiple lead sources, and they're
Yep.
all kind of converging and coming through Bold Trail, and then Bold Trail automates the follow-up processes for that. So it sends out emails. Now, have you guys customized the emails, or do you use the?
We have, yeah, we've
Okay,
customized them. We've customized the texts. You can change the order. We felt some of it wasn't in the correct order, the way that we wanted to touch people. So you can make adjustments to that. That being said, you don't have to be an expert. Bold Trail, their canned packages are pretty good for most.
yeah.
So you can, it's really turnkey. It's just a matter of hopping into the system, disciplining yourself to use it, but it will automatically generate those leads for you because they're automatically going into the system.
That's awesome.
One little hiccup that we did have in our area, we're in a very rural area of Southwest Ohio, outside of Cincinnati, 50 miles east or so. And the problem with Bold Trail that we personally had was it sounds so professional and not very casual when it's sending somebody a text or an email. And anybody that knows us knows that we're a little country, we're a little rural, and there's times that I can be a little unprofessional, and they're like, "Yeah, that's totally not Chris sending that to me," So we turned it off because it sounded so professional. It didn't sound like
It
us.
was robotic.
Yeah, it did sound like AI, and a lot of people immediately unsubscribed or hit stop
Yeah.
or whatnot. So we backed up, we shut off all of our smart campaigns completely. We rewrote them all to sound a little more casual and a little bit more like something that Mark or I would say. And then we slowly started turning it on and paying attention to the ROI we were getting from it. And our ROI, when it sounds like us, is much greater than what the Bold Trail
Mhm.
straight canned response was. However, it was still productive even as it comes out of the box, just not for our market. If you're in a city market, it's going to be fine.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you though. I've always felt like it's important to customize those to sound like it's me speaking, and so I would encourage our agents. Uh, that'll be one of the things that you figure out how to do, and we'll teach you how to do it, and they'll teach you how to do it. But
Yeah.
customize your drip emails and text campaigns. And it's not that hard. It takes, maybe an hour or two to go through them and tweak them to sound like you. But the nice thing is someone a lead comes in and it'll send them an email maybe that first day, and then 2 days later another one, maybe a week later another one. and you can't, our brains can't handle that kind of complexity. So, and that's the beauty of this software. It'll help you to scale up a business. So it helps you to generate leads, but then it helps you to manage complexity. So if you're in your first year in real estate, you get that first buyer and they're looking for a 3 bedroom, 2 bath house. And you're like, okay, I got this. And your whole day is consumed with finding a 3 bedroom, 2 bath. But then you get another buyer. So then you have two buyers, and this person's looking for a condo in urban Cincinnati, has to have 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. So now you're looking for a 3 bedroom, 2 bath, and whatever it is that you're looking for. And then you get a third buyer, and they're looking for something out in the country on acreage. And eventually, it doesn't take too many buyers, and your head begins to explode trying to remember what everyone's looking for. But the
Yeah.
software manages that, and the software will keep sending them suggestions, and it looks like it's an email coming from you. Hey, I found this home. Take a look. Let me know if you'd like to set up a showing. And it uses AI. It can figure out like this house is 87% like the original house that they were looking at, and definitely
Yeah,
it makes
absolutely.
managing complexity. So,
To add to that, Chris, we've since brought Angela, my wife, onto our team, and she comes from a long line of lending background. She's an MLO in a former life, and she was our team's loan officer for years. And when we brought her on, she left her job, and she's now running our back office, running Bull Trail. We've expanded our version and stuff like that. But one of the things that we found was when we're getting Zillow leads and Realtor.com leads and even leads through our website and stuff, a lot of the buyers that we got weren't very well qualified buyers, and we needed to intervene and get them on a plan to be able to convert them and turn them into buyers and get them qualified and stuff like that. So when we turned off our smart campaigns, the very first one that we wanted to roll back out that we had changed, Angela did that from behind the scenes, and she put everybody on like a credit recovery plan. Angela, do you want to talk about that? I'll shut my mic off here. We're in the same room, so all you, Ange.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So I created the AI
I'm turning it off.
smart campaigns. I just kind of went through, I actually used Chat GPT to create some of my verbiage and then I changed it. But I have a call every week with our preferred lender and we go through each client that we've referred. We talk about what, if they need credit repair, how far out they think they are, and then I put them on the smart campaign within Bold Trail. And then, it goes out, it's a 6 month journey. And then it also tells me when to follow up. So then I, once a month, call those people as well and be like, how's it going? Is there anything I can help you with? But they also get that. So it triggers and tells me when to follow up for real, as well as it's doing the campaign behind the scenes.
well, that's
So it's worked
beautiful.
out well.
I love that because that's playing the long game. So many people are like, "Oh, you're not going to buy in 10 days. Okay, next." And they only want the people that are going to buy in 10 days. Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
and
that's
as a lender, those are the ones that always seem to get lost. So that was one of my trigger um, things as my background that if you help somebody, they just want to be helped, they just want somebody to care. And you never know if they know somebody that's $1 million buyer. So if you help somebody repair their credit and there's so many, the lender has software, we do simulations and then we talk about the simulator, they might need to bring their credit up 10 points and those are the ones we've actually captured and got great return on the referral side of things too.
man, that's great. I love that. So, what a great plan. Most of our agents could benefit from playing the long game, and that's a great example of how to do that. So, well, that's interesting, and that's great. what do you think would be some important things for our agents to, as they start going down this path of getting Bold Trail, what would you encourage them to do to fully immerse themselves in it and take advantage of the opportunity here?
That's key.
That's exactly right. Mark just said the key is immerse yourself. You just got to jump in and do it.
And use it.
Yeah, you've got to use it. So right now we are about a month into onboarding, 5, 6, 7 new team members, and we're trying to train them on the system and trying to integrate it into their business and teaching them a different way of doing business using a CRM instead of their notebook. Kim David. And while we're doing that, the easiest way is it's not just the smart campaigns. You can also set somebody up anytime you talk to somebody, or whether you manually put them in or whether Zillow put them in, you can immediately turn on a market report for them. And give them an idea of exactly what their local market looks like. And it sends them very professional snapshots of what their local market looks like. You can set it up by zip code, by city, by area, by county, or whatnot. And you can set it to email them, once a week or once every 14 days, 21, 28 days. I typically use every 28 days because that's 13 free touches I'm getting with every person that's in my CRM. I'm sending them a market report. And then what ends up happening inevitably is I bump into them at Kroger and they're like, hey, thanks so much for sending me those market reports. I forgot all about it, but it's getting an extra 13 touches a year for 3,100 people. That scales very quickly. The market report is a great introductory way of just staying in touch with them. It's just very passively hitting them with an email once every 28 days, which ends up being 13 times a year. And it's fantastic.
What I appreciate you mentioning that because that's one of the things that really grabbed me when I was exploring the software. Another thing that we've preached for a while with our agents is once you get your database together, then you need to be making 12 to 20 touches, light touches per year with your database. So you need to be checking in, and the easiest way to do that, what the old-fashioned way that I've always told people to do it is go into the MLS, create a map search of their neighborhood where they live, and then have them get a list of homes that have sold in their neighborhood, and you can set the frequency for sold for once a month, and then they'll get an email from you through the MLS saying, "Hey, here's what sold in your subdivision this month." And that's
Yep.
the old-fashioned way to do it. Now with Bold Trail, you can set them up right through Bold Trail, so they'll get a monthly email from you that shows how the market activity has been in their neighborhood, and it's a great way to get the, like you said, I love the way that you're emphasizing that you get those 12, 13 touches a year, and
Yep.
so then they keep thinking, okay, yeah, Chris and Mark, that they're my agents, those are my realtors. They see
It
you at
keeps you
Kroger.
top of mind. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Additionally, on top of that, Chris, you also have little neighborhood searches that you can do. Like in Mount Orab out here in Brown County, where we're at, we have the Beacon Hill community, and we also have the Lake Winoka lake community out there. So a lot of our buyers and sellers that we've ever sold houses to, I'll set them up with a search, and you can go in there and define this search area. You can do it manually and put that search for just their little neighborhood. So every time a house hits the market in their neighborhood, boom, it hits their inbox. And it keeps them up to date with what's really going on in their neighborhood. And they see that, and you're kind of making your client an expert of their own community. So 3 years, 4 years, 5 years later, when they decide they're ready to list, they're like, hey, Chris has kept me updated, or Mark has kept me updated with my community. And clearly they know what's going on in my neighborhood. It positions you to be the expert for their community. So it keeps you top of mind. So when it comes time for them to list, not only are they going to use you, but when you have that conversation about what price they should be listing at, they've got a very good feel for where their house should be within the local market. And it just makes that conversation much more user friendly. So you're not hitting them from right field
Mhm.
with something that they don't know. That you've turned your client into the expert as well.
And if you were trying to manually do that with over 3,000 people, that would be
Impossible.
Couldn't do it.
ridiculous. But the
Yeah.
system does it. Now, something that I don't know if everyone is aware of this, but Marcy and Perry is one of our local experts on this software as well. So we had conversion, which kind of morphed into KV Core, and then Bold Trail is kind of the extension of KV Core, kind of the next level. It's on steroids. And Marcy has done a lot of training on KV Core, which gives her a huge head start on this software. So, and I noticed Marcy has her electronic digital hand raised. Love to hear from you, Marcy.
Yeah, thank you so much. And Shepherd team, thank you for hitting all the hot points. I am so excited to roll this out on Thursday. You guys got to be on the call. You just mentioned something that derailed my thought because I was raising my hand about something else. But what's really exciting for us as agents on our homepage of our new websites, we're going to be specific neighborhoods. So you know how where it says company listings, my listings, you can actually dial that into a zip code or a neighborhood name. So it's going to be very specific, helping you to identify the areas in which you are the area expert. So that's a really cool feature. But I wanted to also mention that the Bold Trail software has an app. And I don't know if you guys are using it yet, but I love to do my business on the road. I manage my whole business on my smartphone. So, yeah, okay, you actually can operate from all of those little messages that come through saying someone just clicked on your website, someone is surfing around, and that's gonna this is your business on rocket fuel next level if you just start with entering the data, right? So getting your people in there, and then when you're on the fly you can open your app while you're at Kroger, right? And you can start to just to input them right into your database. So I'm just glad you're doing this today. Thank you for all your input. The enthusiasm is really building here, and I can't wait for Thursday.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you for your input there, Marcy. And Marcy is going to be a resource for us as a brokerage as well as we move forward. She's already established herself as a rising expert on the software. So appreciate your effort in that area. So many other tools. Now, one thing there's different levels even of Bold Trail. So we're actually investing in the premium edition of it. So other brokerages might say they have Bold Trail, but they might have like the budget Bold Trail. We've got the premium, which will give enhanced websites. It'll give enhanced, like there's a presentation tool. Chris, do you guys use the presentation stuff at all on Bold Trail?
So we do not. However, we have recently, we're in the process of onboarding, and Angela can speak to this a little better than I can. There's a different component to it called Bold Trail Back Office that integrates all of your accounting and all of your. You want to take it, Ange? On back office.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Turn your mic on.
I've got it going.
So the back office, we did that more as a TC type thing so that our transaction coordinator, it keeps up, sends out automated emails, it does all of our accounting, but more than anything, it was to keep lenders, title, everything. It's a whole TC system. So we just added that and we're getting that set up and should we should roll that out in the next month or so. But I think my big advice for anybody is it can be very overwhelming system. Don't get overwhelmed. Just take a little piece each week
Yeah.
and say, I'm going to tackle this. Time block your time. I'm a big time blocker, 2 hours a day, and you'll be off and running. Otherwise, you get so overwhelmed and want to do everything at one time, you just can't. So our when we're training our team, that's one of the things. We did a training last week or a couple weeks ago, and we were like, start with your market report. Start with this. Like I'm giving them tasks each week to tackle, or every 2 weeks to tackle. And then otherwise you're just going to get overwhelmed and you're going to give up. Don't give up, just little bits at a time. Stay the
That's
course.
such excellent advice. And I felt that way with conversion. You don't have to know everything, but if you know like 5 or 6 things, you can knock it out of the park. There's like 5 or 6 tools, and spend a week, learn one tool a week, and learn how to do the presentation. The presentation is nice because it can show, basically do a very high tech CMA of a property. So sometimes you've wondered, how can I do a CMA? Do I use RPR? What do I do? Well, this will give you a CMA tool that creates a digital presentation that you can send to them. And it's like Marcy said, it's like pouring rocket fuel on your business, on your lead gen. Just little tools like that will give you a competitive advantage over other agents in the market when you're able to do these things. So, but I'm not aware of any way to use technology like that without putting effort into it. You know, I'm not aware of any way to earn money without putting effort into it. You know, some people might have figured that out, but everything that I've had to earn that's valuable has taken some effort. And so, what I can tell you is it is worth the effort to spend time learning the software. And so I'm with Angela. If you just learn one thing a week, within a month or two, you're going to be. I have no doubt this can take everyone to 6 figures in your income if you'll use it. Take the time to learn it. If you don't want to learn or put effort into it, I'm not sure if I can help you, but if you will learn and put effort into it, you're well on your way to making a really good income. So, Ashish, I see you have your electronic digital hand raised there.
The reason is how at the what level we can integrate AI. Particular, I see the very interesting point from those guys. That's when we can have the marketing campaign, but the what kind of the marketing campaign or the what kind of the schedule we can run using the AI integration in this new software.
So, how does AI
No,
drive the
up to
marketing?
the what level we can have the integration.
Are you talking about the AI that is currently in Bold Trail? Or are you talking about
Yes,
external AI? Okay. Uh,
extra. I'm not. I'm talking about the external AI. Just like I had created the campaign, and I have the just like a database of the 400 people or 500 people. I want to send out of that 400 or 500 people. I had the some of the people will be the $1 million buyer, some of the people will be $750,000 buyer, some of the people will be the 500,000 buyer. So if I will categorize that way, this is the one way to categorize is that too. So in that case, what how and what is the flexibilities they are providing in this new system, so we can integrate AI based tool, so external AI to the marketing campaign.
that's an excellent question. I don't know if I have the answer to that. I don't know.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, you
So
guys do? Tell me what you
yeah,
think.
another great thing about Bold Trail is it allows you to he mentioned categorize the prospects in the system or the contacts, and you can do that. It allows you to categorize them a plethora of different ways and terminology just using hashtags. So then when you go back to assign a campaign, you can assign that campaign to specific hashtags only. Like this hashtag may be $1 million buyers. Bang, they're the only ones who get that campaign. And you can adjust that campaign you can tailor it specifically to their wants and needs.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hope that
And
answered your
another
question.
one more question. If we are able to assign those things, just like if there is any spontaneous event occurs into the market, just like a couple of 2 or 3 weeks ago, there was a very detailed report that one was on ABC News in Good Morning America. Particularly, this the market is overwhelmingly coming with the inventory. At the same times, the some of the market are fall on inventory on the seller. So the market is some of the part of the country has a buyer's market is transferring now. Some of the markets is transferring to the still deeper into the seller's market. So in that case, even if it is affecting to your criteria, can we create or the customizations on it? So that if there is some kind of the real-time event occurs before we have some kind of a schedule set of the people. Okay, these guys are sitting on the brink of the buying or the buying or selling, or they have the double mind right now. They're saying, oh, I have to wait for 3 months or 6 months. So if that those kind of the events with the reports are coming up, is there a anything into the software that we can the system will automatically proactively send them the email? Oh, market is changing. Hurry up on your decisions or those kind of a things.
Yeah, yes, you can real estate is local, to your point, it's very local, and you can assign hashtags literally by zip code, by neighborhood, however you would like to categorize the prospects in your system, you can send them whatever you'd like specifically to them. So you could go, for example, a zip code 45176, and you know that that is, currently a seller's market versus a buyer's market where it may be in other areas. You can localize your message to whatever you'd like via the hashtags.
Yeah, that is true. That is the true. But if there is a event occurs or if the so means the real time event occurs today in the morning, in the afternoon you are not present over there. But do you have the one click function over there? They can send that things to the particular hashtags. That's one event. Precursor as an event is occurring, just like a report comes out today at the 7 o'clock into the 7 a.m. into the ABC News. Okay, 7:30 or 8 o'clock, your system will feed into the market that says, okay, this is the event occurred. Let's go and these are the 10 people out of my things. They are on the brink of that things. That this report could effect on that decision right now. So is there a way that we can have that kind of the real trigger, what's a real time trigger to send out the message?
Yes, I think I'm understanding right. So you could literally take your ABC news story from that day, you could copy and paste the link, plug it into an email, and send it only to those hashtags that you direct.
In
Okay.
addition to that, Ashish, you can also you have integration through Bolt Trail with Bomb videos. You can
Okay.
yeah, you can integrate BombBomb. There's a different subscription. I think it's $34 per user, $35 a month, or something like that. And so if you wanted to say you watch that ABC News report in the morning and you want to comment, you can put a link to that ABC News, upload a video of yourself commenting, like, hey, ABC News says that our local market is now a buyer's market or whatnot, and embed that video right into your email and immediately send it out to your entire CRM. Or you can send it out to a specific hashtag, or you can send it to a specific zip code or whatnot. So in very real time, what you're talking about is how quickly can we be nimble enough to attack the market in very real time? 100%. I mean,
Okay.
there's a dozen ways you can do exactly what you're wanting to do.
And to
Oh,
your
okay.
point, the more you dig into it, we literally have played with it for 2 years. and I still feel like we're only scratching the surface. If you
Yeah.
go to Marketplace on the Bold Trail system, you can purchase additional add-ons almost a la carte as you see fit for your business. You can see that. And there are things that we haven't even scratched yet that are just zooming along that we think about. But yeah, I mean, it's a very robust system. It's extremely nimble. And that's one of the reasons why we try to run all of our business through this.
One of the great things about Bold Trail is their training. They provide tech support for all of our agents, our 370 agents that are coming over. They'll provide tech support. So if you're asking who's the tech support person for Bold Trail, well, they are the tech support. So you can contact their tech support. But they also do live training, I believe every day. They have live training events. And so these types of questions, Ashish, I know you'll be a power user, kind of a tech guy yourself, and we have others that are in that same world who would, you guys will be great, will benefit greatly from the live training where you can ask questions and really dig into the nuts and bolts of it. There's so much to it that regardless of what level of tech you are, you'll definitely benefit from it. So, good conversation there. So, this Thursday, we will be having our launch. It'll be very important for everybody to log in because they'll have you doing certain things. They'll have you get your login. They'll have you get you oriented to your dashboard. It'll be very important for everyone to log in with your computer to that training. If you haven't registered yet, look up the text messages I sent over the weekend. Make sure you register. If you can't make it on Thursday and you're looking for a replay, make sure you register, and that's how you'll get notified of the replay that will come from Inside Real Estate. But it's going to be very important. One of the more important days of the year for us as a brokerage will be this Thursday at 11 a.m. So, anything else out there? I don't know, Scott, you've been watching the messaging. Did we miss anything else that should come up here?
Yeah, Marcy brought up a great point about registering, even if you can't make it. That way you get the replay, like you just said.
Okay.
And I shared a link to register in the chat. So if you don't want to look through your text, it's right there.
Nice.
But good conversation has been happening in the chat about different customization, and Marcy said that's really easy to do. Bring your techie questions to Thursday, and we'll take care of those.
One of the things I'll just highlight is just the website itself. With conversion, they've seen us as one team, and so they're trying to mix like 20 different markets into one website. So with Bold Trail, we're going to be set up with at least 14 different offices, which will cover those 21 MLSs, 20 or 21 MLSs. And so when you guide visitors to your website, let's say you're in Northeast Ohio, it's not going to show Pensacola Beach listings. It's not going to show Cincinnati listings. It'll show Northeast Ohio listings. And so for each of our markets, it's going to be a lot better for your people navigating around your website to find local listings. That's one of the benefits. And it'll show the offices. It'll show who are the agents in that office, and it's going to be amazing. So that'll be a big perk compared to what we have now. All right. Well, hey, thank you everyone for coming out. We had a really great turnout today. Hopefully you found the information to be helpful, but Thursday is the big day. Thursday at 11. Make sure you sign up at the link that Scott just shared there, and it's going to be an exciting time. So have a fantastic week. Go make some money and get your database together. You'll need it by this Thursday. so pull it together. All right. Have a great week. Bye-bye.